About 4.5 years ago, I used to think the same as what most people think, that it's a globe, there's space, it spins, it moves at terrific speeds. And then something came up on a YouTube feed or some social media platform about flat Earth. And of course you look at it and you just think, like everybody does initially, that it's some medieval nonsense that shouldn't be taken seriously. And then I watched it for some reason. It kept coming up and I thought, I'll just have a look. And it really changed my thinking. It allowed me really for the first time to go, what? Of course it's round.
7, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1, and liftoff of Space Shuttle Atlantis, a final visit to enhance the vision of Hubble into the deepest grandeur of our universe.
My name is Sean Connors and you're interviewing me because you've obviously come across my conference that I was involved in last year with Flat Earth. I don't really know what the shape of the Earth is, but one thing I do know, it's certainly not round. I believe that we probably live on some sort of flat plane of existence. Exactly what that is unclear, but every experiment I've carried out and every bit of research that I've ever followed through keeps coming back to the same simple conclusion. The mathematics, the physics, and everything we see around us doesn't conform to the theories of science, and they are just theories. So we have to then look a bit deeper, and that's what I've done. You're expected to believe that trillions of tons of water are held onto a spinning ball. Try replicating that. Try taking a vacuum of space next to an air, a system, if you will, a planet system. Try putting the two together in any scientific experiment you dare to try and prove it. You can't. I think for people that have never looked at it and think it's crazy, I would always start with forget flat Earth and just think about the world you live in. That's the first point. Are you happy with it? Ask questions to yourself why. Dig deeper. That's what all I would ask you to do. Examine that. And ever since I've got into this point, I've tried so hard to debunk it. My God, I've tried everything in my power to go the other way and go with everybody else and think, wouldn't that be the safer option? Absolutely, of course it is. Naturally, the belief system, you've been brought up in an education that's pushed at you a certain model of thinking all the way through your life. Somebody wants to challenge that, the principles of what you've been raised on, the things that you've seen in the movies, the things that you've seen on the TV. My wife's father says I'm absolutely mad, but he finds it very difficult when you debate him because I will keep throwing science back at him and I will keep throwing back scientific method. And I keep explaining to him that unfortunately the scientific method is just built on theories and therefore by definition is a pack of cards. It's just sand, it's got no real foundation. Like trying to push a football team that I love on someone else, it's never going to work. It's never going to fly, is it? You're not going to enjoy that. If you may be Manchester, I might be Liverpool, but we're never going to see eye to eye, but we can still enjoy the same game.
For my 3.5 years in Flat Earth, for most of that, and I lean on it even to this day, is I've seen things that strongly suggest that it's flat, but I haven't seen anything that suggests that it's a curve or that we're spinning. When I've been to that lake in Hungary and you can see the laser, you shouldn't be able to see it.
Right.
But when you look at the globe and you're meant to have 14 foot in the way and you don't see that 14 foot, then it makes you question what you've been told. What I would say is there's a lot of question marks. I mean, I wouldn't say that everything in Flat Earth is all sussed and sorted because there isn't. But there's a hell of a lot of question marks on what we've been told by mainstream science.
Obviously, we've got the camera set up on Brighton Pier, and we've got another person on the far side at Worthing Pier, on the beach, with the laser set up. Now, I've got the camera approximately about, I think it's about 4 foot off there. Basically, he's going to shine a laser towards us, and obviously, if we can see the laser, then he's telling us that there's no curvature between 2 points, you know what I mean? Yeah, because according to the ball Earth math, even over a short distance, like 10 miles, you still get a 40-foot drop. Well, obviously, he's shining the laser, look. The red laser. Oh, it's a red one.
Well, realistically speaking, given what we've been taught, we shouldn't be able to see those lights at all. If we're going on what we've been taught, nothing should be visible at all, and no amount of refraction should be able to account for that.
If you actually step back and analyse what people are saying, it's just pure sci-fi, you know? And it's amazing how many people will just go with it without questioning the narrative, you know, just for 1 second. Once you look into Flat Earth, even if you don't accept it or how can I say, if you don't agree with the whole thing, after you research the topic, you come out a lot more knowledgeable about certain topics, and I think that's a great thing for anyone. The greatest thing a person can do is learn.
A lot of people say, oh, not everything can be a conspiracy, surely. It pretty much is. Global warming, I mean, come on, in 1970 or whatever it is, the magazine said in 10 years' time or 20 years' time we'll all be underwater. It's a con, it's always been a con, and most people are waking up to it. The flat earth is a subject that makes people start to think critically again, which is something that's taken away from us at birth. Through the education system, what our parents teach us, that's all we know. Quite simply, social media is that. It's been made for us all to have. So the rise it's had has been really, really, like we said before, it's a double-edged sword. It's been great to get truth out because you can hit millions of people and they become viral, these things, and they go everywhere. Funny enough, yesterday I was talking about something on, I think it was a science site, bizarrely enough. And the main thing is they say, don't breed, you're a moron. I mean, it's really hurtful stuff, and there's a lot of swear words in there. I mean, we're sort of used to it now, but I think when you first start trying to explain the truth to people and you get met with a barrage of insults, it's, it takes you back a bit because you've not been used to that. They're daily. This is the point. I mean, specific examples are the ones, just the name calling, where don't breed. That's a really, really popular one that people seem to use. You're a moron, don't breed, please don't have children, blah, blah, blah. And it's really, it's quite offensive, but they don't know. It's ignorance mainly, that they just don't know. And like I say, we're quite thick-skinned about it. And like I say, yesterday was a prime example. It was a don't breed one again. So we get it daily. So there's no specific examples apart from it happens all the time.
I've had enough of this fucking flat earth bullshit. The flat earth idea is bullshit. It is fucking stupid. And I wish gravity would forget them for just a second so they could fall off the fucking earth.
When I first started out 3.5 years ago, I found that when I spoke to one of my my family, and they were obviously a bit perplexed with what I'd just come across, and they went away, came back a day later, and they were like really, really angry. Not only is he my nephew, even though he's an adult, but he's my nephew and he works for me. And he was obviously asking the question, quite rightly, he was asking the question, why? Why would they lie, and why this, why that, and came back the next day, and instead of just saying, no, I don't agree with that, I just think it's a load of rubbish, he actually had a lot of venom and anger in his eyes. And I've also had other people attacking me for no reason and making up stories. Maybe it's because we're in their homes, maybe, but they just seem to be very cynical that we are potentially the enemy of them. I think it's more to do with what I think it isn't, and what I think it isn't is a spinning globe. Is it possible to be flat? I would probably say yes, but I would say it's more to do with what it isn't more than what it is. I think what would be nice for me is it's more to do with not finding out the truth, because I don't know if we'd ever find out the truth, but it's almost like to have an open debate with people. I've had 3.5 years of looking at it from a different viewpoint and actually starting to query my surroundings, whereas these people have only been given one narrative and they assume that that's the only narrative, and that doesn't necessarily make. It doesn't mean I'm right, but it doesn't mean that I'm wrong either if they haven't looked into it. Because what we ultimately want is the truth, not we want it to be flat. The truth is king.